Good morning. It's Monday, October the 12th, and I trust that you're all well. And today we're in Psalm 78. And Psalm 78 is a long psalm, one of the longest, not as long as Psalm 119, but it has 72 verses. And it's one of these psalms that is set in a very specific context, and you'll see for example, in verse 9, a reference to the Ephraimites. Ephraim was a son of Joseph, the first tribe out of Egypt. And Joshua, of course, was an Ephraimite. But this psalm is a psalm that relates how the Ephraimites failed to pass on the torch to the next generation. And instead, Judah was chosen, and you see that in verse 70. He chose David, his servant, and took him from the sheepfolds, and so on. So this is a psalm from two perspectives. One from God's perspective, and from God's perspective, he is absolutely determined to save Israel. And you can pick that up in verses 12 and 43. In the sight of their fathers, he performed wonders in the land of Egypt, in the fields of Zoan. And then in verse 43, when he performed his signs in Egypt and his marvels in the fields of Zoan. But the problem begins in verses 9, 10, and 11. The Ephraimites, armed with a bow, turned back on the day of battle. They did not keep God's covenant, but refused to walk according to his law. They forgot his works and the wonders that he had shown them. So this is a psalm with a terrible message of warning that one generation can fail to pass on the torch, as it were, to the next generation. And although Joshua and the Ephraimites have a high day leaving Egypt, the next generation forgot him and turned back. And so this is a psalm of warning. It's a psalm based in Israel's history, but a warning to us not to make light of the fact that we need to ensure that the next generation of believers are faithful and strong and committed to the Lord. The way to do that, of course, is to ensure that our children are raised in godly homes, that they are taught the Word of God, that they're brought to church and catechized, and so on. That we cannot guarantee their faithfulness, but there's a great deal that we can do to ensure that they have all that they need to take up that torch and be true to the Lord. That's the task, of course, of the church right now, even in this pandemic. So Psalm 78, probably a longer devotional for you this morning because it's a long psalm, but a psalm full of wonderful lessons for us to learn. Well, the Lord bless you today.
We hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, and you want to make sure you get all of our content, not just videos, but podcasts and ministry updates, make sure you download our app. If you think you might have missed a video, click on our YouTube channel. A link should be down below. There you can see all of our videos. And if you want to make sure you don't miss anything in the future, hit subscribe. If you want to be one of the first ones to know when we release a video, hit that little bell icon. And if this video has blessed you and you can think of someone else that it might help, use that share icon and send it to them. All, of course, for the edification of God's people and the glory of his name. Until next time, God bless.